Hello and welcome back to Talking Comics. Now this video will be slightly different, as instead of just talking about one comic series, I'm talking about multiple, at least 3 comics. I may mention more by then, but I'll just talk about them, give my thoughts on the comics, and if you're interested in them, you might want to check them out. Secret Six is a really recent comic, but it's already kind of got me hooked. I'm really interested to see where it goes. Now, Secret Six was a team beforehand. I do know some people think this team maybe shouldn't go by the title of Secret Six, because it doesn't exactly have many similarities to that original team, and I do understand that. The comic focuses on the characters Dreamer, Superman being John Kent Superman, and his boyfriend Jay, who now has powers, and it focuses on them creating this new team by accident as they hunt down Amanda Waller, who originally was in prison but now is seemingly free and on the run. Now, this comic very much ties into the Absolute Power event. So if you're thinking about checking this comic out, I would suggest reading or at least looking into the Absolute Power event, because it very much ties into how these characters are thinking. I really do love the fact that this comic goes into Absolute Power so much, because my one complaint with that event is I feel like it's slightly pushed aside in most recent comics. Not all of them, some definitely talk about how it affected people, but this comic really goes into how John Kent, Dreamer, even Jade has felt about the situation and how they're kind of dealing with it, and it's just very intriguing. I will say I also quite like the art style it's going with. It's it's just a very fun style. I don't think I've seen the artist's work before, but I'm really liking it. Certain characters really look really good. Jay's outfit is really cool in this. I don't think I've ever properly seen his new kind of superhero suit. But yeah, overall I'm really interested to see where this goes and how it deals with these characters. And it's been really intriguing. Now, this comic focuses on Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, as suddenly Atlantis just disappears, and it leads to this portal leading him to an entirely new, strange world. The comic also talks about the fact that Arthur can now manipulate and control water, and that also goes into the idea of the blue, what is very much like the green. Basically, the green is a thing that connects all plant life. Same with the red being a thing what connects all animal life. The only difference is the blue connects all of the sea and water. The art in the comic is really good. There's definitely some really nice shots of the kind of area he's in, because it's this kind of strange world. You can really play into the fact of how it looks and all that. I think my only main complaint for the comic is that we don't know where exactly it will be going. There's hints at ideas of gods being involved and some other stuff, but we don't exactly know what the deal is at the moment. Though that could change. I could see issue 4 explaining more. But yeah, so far it's been entertaining and you might want to check it out. New Gods is great. It's like really good. I would heavily suggest checking this out. But if you do not know anything about New Gods or the characters in that world, I'd heavily suggest at least looking into it before going on to this comic. Cause obviously very much plays into that. But overall, this comic is just amazing. I really love the fact that the comic does not shy away from writing itself as if it's meant to be a real mythology. Because what always made Jack Kirby's comics of New Gods great is the fact that it was meant to be that. It's written more as if they were actual gods than, say, superhero media. And it's always been really intriguing as a concept, and the comic is still very much following in that footsteps. The characters are written as if they are myths, as if they've existed for years, and will continue to exist. The artwork in the comic is phenomenal. It just looks amazing, and it really fits the tone for the comic, and the colours are just, it works all really well and it looks great. The actual story of the comic, of this new god appearing and how it will affect the world and what these characters should do, if they should act on it or if they should do nothing, is just really interesting. I'm really excited to see how it's played with in the story as it continues. Overall, I just heavily suggest checking this comic out. If you haven't read New Gods, the original, you know to look into it. That's what I've done. I want to read it at some point because from everything I've heard, it's maybe really good and it's made by Jack Kirby. But you know to find videos kind of going into what New Gods is about. But if you've read New Gods and you know about it, I heavily suggest checking this out because I do think this is really good. I think it's going to very much be a very remembered comic in the future. Overall, those were the 3 comics that I wanted to talk about. Now, there is also a bunch of other good DC comics that are out or coming out. DC's been putting out some pretty good stuff lately. There's been Batgirl, the Cassandra Cain comic. Sadly, I think that will have ended by the time this comes out. But that's been really good. I would wished that had more issues. But there's also stuff like the new Absolute Universe, there's Absolute Martian Manhunter, what I'm really excited for. There's even some fun crossover stuff, like we're getting DC meeting Sonic characters, what will probably just be very kind of silly, wacky fun, what I'm all for. Yeah, so far DC's been putting out some really good comics. Anyway, if you liked this video, you can like it. You can even dislike it if you want. If you want to see some more comic book videos, you can check out my channel. I've done some stuff similar to this and some things not so similar. There's also the fact you can subscribe, but that's up to you at the end of the day. But yeah, thank you for watching, that's all, and goodbye.